Welcome to part 10 of our Lean Design FileMaker Training Course. Now in this last section, Nick Hunter is going to cover a wide variety of topics, kind of a little bit of a cleanup to cover the things that he may have skipped or maybe he feels that he didn't hit very hard earlier in the course. Now keep in mind we have a couple additional bonus sections down further in this video course. Originally, this course was going to end with part 10. However, it looks like we'll have at least 2 additional sections that will provide additional content for you to learn from.
I want to show something because then we can switch back to the design, because there's something I missed a little bit during this week and I regret it, but maybe next time I can do something better for that. Is that the technique you use must be supported by the design you use. The design is because I create this browser style stuff that I can do that. I can select a node because I have the browser. So, it's because I have the design browser. Like, I want to show you this here, my customer. So this file was meant for, this file is meant to operate in an iPad. So let's pretend we are in the iPad, okay? So I select a campus. This is the app, the mobile app of the APA stuff that I showed you before. It's the mobile version. Is that the inspector has an iPad and they walk through rooms and they see, oh, there's a watermark on the ceiling. Bam, they take pictures. Oh, there's a hole under, there's a hole on the wall. Bam, take a picture, right? But he knows so how it works is simple. So you select, you select, for example, an university like college is here. Let's take, so you select where you are as a user. So you are in this, okay, that's true. I'm here. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm using car style too. So that's a car style because I go to another table that the facility, here I am in the login whatever table with no records, right? There's no records. There's one records, right? And then I open a window with another table and I say, okay, I want this Delton College, and then you switch to another layouts, and then I can go back. You can do this. You have a kind of a browser on top, and then you can select this one. Okay, is that the one you want? Is that real the one? Oh yes, select, and then you have a script that says transfer with the script parameters. Damn, this is the ID of the current campus. Demonstration, I select, and now everything I will do in this file, if I go to the data viewer current here, and you can see I have a current, the user ID, I have a token here that for the APIs, my location. Okay, this is the ID, the UUID of the campus. So now this is it. Oh, you want to change campus, then you have to log out and log in back because you change campus. So you have to click here.
So you did the A file, B file demo inside one file, but it's 2 table occurrence groups. So if you're not familiar with table occurrence groups, check out the videos on Anchor Buoy, right? We can put the numbers up for that. But
then you have to understand that you need to be smart on both ways. It's not like just it's not like you will just have to put tables and fields in the layout. No, you have to be smart how to organize those things, how you call things like that. You have windows popping and stuff like that. That's why I hoped we will have this since FileMaker 12. That now you understand. If you know the starter solution, you understand why I took some direction. And then at the end I say, oh, by the way, we don't have it. That's what they were saying me. They will say, oh, you have this and this and this and this for the starter solution, to build the solution, FileMaker 12 and stuff like that. And at the end, oh, finally, we cut this. Yes, but I built the file supposed to use those things, right? So finally, we got them. The car style window, that's something, it was in a pipe for a long period of time, but they had some difficulties. So I want to show you, for example, a design strategy. You need to think design as a strategy. So how the user will interact with my data and how I can make sure that I have opportunities to get those count windows and go cross tables and use the technique of the script parameters and stuff like that. You need to create those occurrences. You need to create these circumstances. You need to make them happening. Otherwise, you have a flat file with plenty of tables, plenty of polls, and 100 relationships to the same layout like before. So here, for example, here I have this here. I don't have a car style window here. I have a popover. But why? Because here, this is the version. Here I have this because I am in the portrait. If I switch in landscape, I have this design. So I can select. I can select. I think I selected. Okay, here floor one. So floor one, you have inspections here. See, for example, here. So you select, click, 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 click. But each time you click, each time you did a click, you selected something here, right? You updated. Actually, I'm updating on globals, but you update globals, tack, like that, and then I'm using those IDs to do something, right? So when you select something like that, you see here you have the explanation of what this is, and then when you here, you can say, okay, I want to start an inspection in this space because this is where I am. So I am in this space. I want to start inspection. You click the button start inspection, and then I'm starting the inspection. As you can see, I'm using the car style window also for another benefits. Sometime let me do it again. Let's say I am creating a space here. I'm creating an inspection from a space. That means I am in the building, I am in a floor, I am in a space, and then I want to do the inspection of this space. So I start the inspection, but my scripts to start inspection must go to multiple table and do stuff to prepare the inspection. I need to import some records from a table to another. I need to suck in the records into a table. I need to update things. I need to do some kind of replace actions and stuff like that. But I don't want that to be on the I don't want that to be on the related table because obviously replace, you cannot replace on the do a replace on the related table. But I want to go straight to the point. So instead of having those windows flickering and stuff like that, those window bam 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 like that, opening window outside, off screen and stuff like that. No, I'm using CalStar windows, and I don't even try to hide them. How I'm doing this, layouts can be related to a table. You can interact with this layout without having fields on the layout, right? Okay. So just what you need, a layout related to the table, and then the script, you can interact with everything in this layout, right? So pay attention closely what happens here when I click the button Start Inspection. I'm doing this. Okay, I create this. You see, I change this, and then I'm doing stuff in this, the action here, and I open a CalStar window, and I go to the context I need for my operations. But instead of hiding it, no, I just say, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, in progress, be patient, processing, or whatever you want to say in this kind of a little splash screen. And then people say, oh, okay, the thing is working for me, right? And I can show you another great example of this. Is at the beginning, we had a problem with this file because people will say, oh, yeah, Nick, the thing's crashed. The thing doesn't work. I say, okay, look, what happened? Show me what happened. Oh, when I click this button, I have a spinning wheel. Okay. I said, okay, you have spinning wheel, but that's normal. You are generating a 200+ page report, crazy report, and that takes time. So here what I did to correct the problem. You know what I mean? When you have a process that lasts 1 minute, because there's no way you can do that, especially when when it comes to printing, because we are generating graphics and stuff like that. So even if you use Acrobat Pro or stuff like that, you will have a progress bar. Say, be patient, right? So it's not like if you interact with Photoshop and you do a crazy filter on a photo, you have to wait. It's not instant, right? So let's show what I did to create a problem. So when they were clicking on generate report, they were saying, "Oh, it's crashed." Okay, no problem. Click. Where do you want to save the report on the desktop? Generate the report. Bam. So I say, okay, I generated the table of content. Please wait. You know. So I'm doing something.
Is that a card?
That's a cursor window. I'm doing something. So be patient, please. This takes some time. You know, it's a 200-page report. So I'm generating the table of contents.
Yeah, but it's doing it on PSOS, right?
No, here no. It's local. We didn't have time to update it, and
I would try to build it on PSOS, but the trick is you have to have the fonts on the server.
yeah, it was kind of. We tried the printing on server. It works, but the problem is, we didn't have time to debug it.
Okay.
So here the report. So this report here is generating with FileMaker and the table of content as well, and it's dynamic. If for example, it takes 5 pages to show something instead of 3, we change the content. The table of content is dynamic based on the content, right? With FileMaker. So if you guys you need something like that, you can ask us, and we know how to do. So this is a report. So you have pictures. You see the picture with the captioning, and you have all this. Okay, so it's kind of it's a 60-page report. So you saw that how I did that. When you click generate report, you have this splash screen telling you, okay, I'm doing things, I'm processing, I'm generating, I do whatever the thing, and then people are happy because they say, okay, the thing is doing something for me. Do we have any questions here so far? Or?
A set trigger step on layout change does not exist for PC version, correct? No, it's yeah. I mean, basically all the features are horizontal except for a couple weird.
Part of Mac only
like
stuff.
Apple events on the Mac and
because you still have the it's still available. It's not working, but it's still available on PC.
yeah. No, but yeah, all the triggers are available. So pretty much yeah, everything. Okay. Next question: how do you recraft card window techniques for WebDirect? Any suggestions?
Forget about it.
No WebDirect.
See, that's the thing. You love WebDirect. I am not a fan of WebDirect. I don't like it. You like it, but you would have its babies, but I am not that way. I'm not. That's not me.
I have this. I don't know if everybody was there, but I can do again the demo here. I'll tell you why. I like it, and then maybe you guys you will agree with me, and I hope so. So let's say this is WebDirect. So I am in this website. This is a website of one of my customers. This is a website, right? It's a website, and they have a platform. They call that a platform, and the platform is a FileMaker file. So they have their customer. Their customer can log in. So log in the platform. So this picture here is a WebDirect. This is WebDirect. We are in FileMaker already. I'm logging in. So, and this is the layout. This is a platform. So you can check your deals, check your stuff. You see when you click, and you can see the jobs and the capital stack and the job collection and stuff, whatever the strengths of the deal, the risks, and you can have some picture here. You can see pictures and progress and stuff like that. You can download documents. You can see the financial stuff like that. In the same time, you have a different layout if you log as an agent. So when you log as an agent, you see you will have a totally different layout. So you have you have different investors, right? And you have information about the investors, the account, the preference account. You can create or remove a FileMaker account. For example, you can grant access. Let's say I want to remove this guy. I remove the. So here with WebDirect, within WebDirect, what you're doing here, you are interacting with FileMaker Pro. You are interacting with the security panel in FileMaker Pro. You are interacting with this panel here, not this one, but you are interacting with this panel here, right? So
People are asking about where they get the sample file. So you need to explain to them that you created a launch pad based upon EB5 and Max Acrubo. They don't get EB5 and Max Acrubo. Those are $100,000 plus projects, right? Those are really big projects. Yeah, those are not ours. You built the launcher based upon those files, so we could give them, and we have permission from these companies, right? So
I created this design 5 years ago. Okay, so 4 years ago. So this is the ultimate version of it, and you have the latest technique I'm using. This is a file. I can show you the file if you want. It's it's important for I can. It's important for us that you trust what we. Okay, it's in what's the name? It's in work in progress, right? The login we changed it slightly a little bit. We are doing something very very impressive here. Actually, we are logging in. Hold on. I am in one file. The file is on AWS, and I'm asking another FileMaker file on the server in Denver to authenticate for me through FileMaker using Active Directory. And then I grant or not the access on this file. So, and for that we use the API on the server API. Okay, so we ask a server, we send the name, the account and password we send over there. It launches a script on FileMaker, say, okay, try authenticate. If the script return thumb up, bam. So we are working on this right now. Okay. So I click here and I say, so you will see, you will have something, see, transferring and authenticate successful. That means it grant me the access. So this file here, I cannot show you too much of the private things, but
that's fine.
This file here, you can see here, you have the system, the users, the CRM, and okay, it's in progress, but this file is this one, right? You agree that this is the same, right? Okay, so what I did is I removed everything that was unnecessary. This file is why I built this file. This file, let's say you want a file and you want to build a solution, and you don't want to take care about having a user management or account management, and you don't want to have to deal with all those script, that starter script and stuff like that. You don't want to deal with this. So what you can use this file and start coding on top of it, right? So I want to walk through this file right quick here because it's very important. So I was finishing this WebDirect stuff. So here you can do what I did the demo yesterday. You can add document, but obviously what you can do also, let's abandon this one. So here I am in WebDirect, right? So resize, okay, registration. I want just to abandon this. So what you can do here, so you can say, okay, I have deals here. I want to, I'm an investor. I want to pretty much accept the deal, stuff like that. So my customer had a quote for a website like that: authentication, reports, downloads, video playing, etc., etc., etc. He has $232,000 quotes. Okay, for a website like that, that quality, related to a FileMaker solution, right? When, I don't know, the cost was what, $10,000, $12,000? That was the cost for this. No, for the website. No, not for the file. The website side of it, that was $10,000, $12,000. That's it.
Yeah, because most of it
was built over there. That's why, when you have WebDirect is great for this application. Like, let's say you have a solution, you have an application for your business, and you want an open window outside for your partners, your colleagues.
Yeah, I want to hit Really important. So with WebDirect, and this goes also with FileMaker's licensing strategy on this, is that WebDirect is not for public-facing access. So when Nick's talking about customers using WebDirect, it's either people in the company or trusted partners or a contractor or some sort of person that you know who they are. You can identify them by name. It's not anonymous access. FileMaker, for licensing purposes, very much dislikes anonymous access. In general, and in WebDirect specifically, they want as a general rule, they want you to be able to identify the names. If they pressed you, can you give them the names of the people accessing the solution? Now, if you truly need a anonymous access website where you don't know who people are, then you do build that with PHP or whatever else. But in this case, Nick built it because the people accessing it are people who are trusted individuals. Somehow they're connected to the company somehow.
And that you give me the bridge to show something here from the file where people are getting here. Let's say you want to create a user, a trust user, a partner, a new colleague, a contractor you're with, and you create a new one, and we say I'm going to call it, I'm going to call it Richard. Yeah, zoom in, Richard, and I'm going to. Okay. So Richard. So, and I'm going to account and privileges, and I say, okay, I want RCC login. And the privilege, okay, I have only 2 here, but you can create all the privilege you want. So I want a data entry only, right? I choose the privilege of this guy. So I want you to see that there's no, in the security panel, there's no RCC. Oh yeah, sorry, I did a demo yesterday. Yeah, I did a demo yesterday, so let me delete this because I did a demo. So sorry. Okay. So let's take another name, Richard. Okay. So then people won't say, "Oh, you cheat." Okay. So I have a Richard account here, and I want to create the account in FileMaker. I have the user is there. The user's created. But if I try to log in with Richard, hear what he said. He said, "Okay, this guy doesn't match our records. Sorry, he's not there. The Richard guy, we don't know it. No, we don't know. We don't know who it is." So let me log in right quick. So user Carlton. Okay. So now I create the account. Create it. Okay, no problem. I create it. And here I'm going to explain that letter, how it works. I'm forcing people to enter 6-character minimum, a capital letter, a number, and a special character. So I'm using the same for my demo, then I don't have to think about it. So now the account is created. So let's check if it's true, right? Because it's, I go in security and I have Richard here with data entry only, right? So the account got created. And I say, okay, that's great. So if I, now I sign out, I said, okay, Richard. So he said, okay, no problem. He's there. He exists. Go ahead. And I said, and now I'm logged in as Richard. And I can log out and stuff like that. But as you can see here, I don't have privileges enough to go to script and okay. So, and of course here I cannot create, I cannot delete, I cannot do anything here. I just can reset my password. If you click here, you can reset your password if you want. You can send your password and stuff on email, etc., etc. So you can do stuff, but you cannot do everything. So let's sign out now and go back to the admin here. So you see that you have now with this file, you have a complete solution that you can drive your security panel. You can drive the FileMaker security without going to FileMaker security, without going there. You can do pretty much what you can do here, you can do here. So let's say okay, you were a trusted partner, you no longer, and you're no longer a trusted partner, but we don't want to delete you. We want to keep you, but we want to deactivate you. So you can deactivate, and then you deactivate the account here. And now you can see, if you go to the FileMaker security, you can see that Richard is not active. And you can activate it. Okay, activate. And if you go to FileMaker Security, you can see that now Richard is active. So what I want to, all of this to say, and we had a conversation with Richard many times, this login panel here, it is not a hack. It is not is not bypassing FileMaker Security. No, it's not. It's just a new representation of this panel that nobody likes. Okay, especially on WebDirect. You know, I don't know if you noticed, but on WebDirect here, I have a great panel. Here, I have a great login panel, right? That better than the FileMaker default, right? That this on WebDirect, especially on WebDirect. So this is a great thing here. So you can create your account. Of course, when a user, you see, you have plenty of users. When a user has it's an icon like that, that means he has a FileMaker account. Okay, so you can at a glance you can see, oh, this one can log in, this one can log in, right? After that, what I create here, you have a user log. That's cool. The user log is cool. You can keep on your user when he get out, when he get in, when he get out, in, out, in, out. So you know how long he stayed, and you know sometimes you have one of your colleagues and stuff like that. Oh, it doesn't work. Okay, yeah, you logged on FileMaker 16. You know, so you need to upgrade because you can see here right click here. So here we have plenty of good stuff too. The preference panel is one of my favorites. So let's say I'm going to my stuff and I say, okay, I want to log in full screen, and I want to go to the last visited layouts, right? So if I log in, so if I quit Launchpad, if I log in again, so full screen, and I went back to the last layouts, right? Last use or save, for example, you can resize the window and say you want this window, you click to save current, and now this will be your current size, or the save layout, which layout you want to go, or the default. The default is on the system here. You can select the default landing screen. So as you create the screen, the layout, I populate the layout name here, and you have the default size of window. So all this management is there. You don't need to deal with it. So and I'm going to show you other thing here that's very cool. You have plenty of stuff like of course, you know, I'm using all the custom function. They're all there. All my my best custom function are there. So I'm using pretty much all of them. And you can see, for example, here it's very cool to detect when an email is not valid. The email is not valid. See, it's not valid here because yeah, it's missing. There's no @ sign, so an email without the @ sign is not possible. If you forgot, for example, if there's no dots at all whatsoever, that means your email is not working. It is missing a dot and stuff like that. So, and of course, I'm using auto entry calculation, etc. I have an auto enter save and I have an object enter, an object save, but not for this purpose. So I have another thing that is very cool. I call that the audit log. Whatever you typed, the audit log is great. It's great because that's something all my customer is asking and stuff like that. Let's say I have my job location in Stockton and say, okay, I want to change to Santa Clara. So here I go to audit log and say, okay, the admin, that means me, admin on June at 14:49 change the field location from Stockton to Santa Clara. Right?
I need to. We have a couple questions, right?
Yep.
And so I need to pitch the questions to you.
Yep.
They want to know. Okay, here's the question: can you use these techniques to speed up the generation of a value list from a date field? From a set of found set, you used a summary field, right? We talked the summary field with the list of function.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, so for dskinko, we're mentioning that if you're familiar with using the summary field, and then a list of will be the fastest way to generate a value list from a found set.
Yes.
List of. So it's a summary field, but then the type, instead of a total or average, it's list of. So
summary. No, oh, I don't care. So you see a list of, and you have all the fields available, unless they are containers. but you can list off pretty much whatever. You can list off anything.
Yeah. Okay. So the other question we have, someone's asking about what if they bought training 30 days ago? Yeah. We have price. Listen, I'm not out. I mean, obviously, if we were out to like screw people and take their money, then this wouldn't be a free event. If you think that you should get the training for free or discounted because you just bought it and you want the updated version, just email the support team. They're instructed not to try to be jerks about it. So I mean, I do have people who bought FileMaker 14 training and they think they should get the 18 training for free, and I have things like that do happen. So if you that's fine. Just email the support at RC Consulting with your request. We will take care of that. Another question. In general, is it faster or better to perform update calculation records in a portal or via go-to related record in the parent? You always want to do it in the. He's trying to update calculations through a portal as opposed to just going GTRR and updating it there.
You have to go to.
Yeah, you always listen. Yeah, I mean, okay, so yeah, in the big scheme of things, going to going to a real list view and doing your work at the table is always going to be much faster than trying to drive it through a relationship. Driving it through a relationship is an automatic performance penalty. Generally as a rule, I hate portals. I dislike them. Nick likes them. I dislike them only because I'm trying to learn myself all these new techniques, and I tend to find myself making portals that go slow. And so I like them to go fast. So I try to avoid that by just making sure I generate the list views or using list views as often as I can with, Windows and things. Another person has a question. I have FileMaker 17 server, but I'm using FileMaker 18 advanced client. Is there anything in these two files? Yeah, you bet. This is okay. So we've kind of covered this for M Johnson 24. The files work great with FileMaker 17. So FileMaker 18 at the end of the day, there aren't any FileMaker people here, right? No FileMaker people here. You see any FileMaker people here? Yeah, there's the FileMaker 18 is an interesting release. It's more like a 17.1 or something, right? It's not worthy of the word 18 in my humble opinion. If you ask FileMaker and you get them, to be honest, they would tell you the same thing. Their next release is going to be much, much, much more amazing with all the stuff going on. So it's kind of
They have to be fair with them, and
got to be fair.
But I still have my half of my heart over there, right? So this release was all about things you can see. It's like you have the same car, right? And you had an old big block V8 engine from GM of the 1970s. The same car, but now you have a brand new Tesla turbine or electric engine. So same car, but under the hood is not that.
Yeah, there's not a lot of new features, I think, is the issue, right? So if you're looking for so as a result of not having a lot of new features in 18, Nick doesn't have a lot of new tools to incorporate. So if you get a file from anyone today, there's a couple narrow little situations where they could code something that would make it 18 specific, but I think most anyone who's doing any development, I'd rather avoid those couple minor features and just make sure I have backwards compatibility with 17. It doesn't mean you shouldn't be buying 18 and staying up to date, because there's always security fixes and bug fixes and all sorts of things that go on. I'm just saying, strictly speaking, there's nothing so awesome in it that we had to have it, and so we put it in the file, and then all you people with 17 can't have it. That's not the case. It'll do everything you need to do with 17. So why don't you push on for now, okay?
Yeah, let me wrap up a little bit the thing here. I want to show you guys how I do this password stuff here, because how I can detect that a text I'm typing has a upper character, lower character, how I can detect that I have a special character, and how I can detect that I have a number without you have to list all of these things. You don't want to go and list and type all the characters, and you don't want to type all the 26 letter, and actually FileMaker doesn't have a clue if a character is uppercase or lowercase. For FileMaker, A, capital A or small cap A, it's A. It won't tell you, oh, this is not an A. It doesn't care about the cap. So it doesn't care about that. It doesn't know. So how I can detect that? How I can say this, for example, I can say na 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 and bam 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 and hold on, I'm doing 1 and 2 3 4. one. So how I can say, okay, passport must contain a capital character. How I know that, you know, that I don't have a capital character. I detected that is not. Okay. So how I do that? So it's very simple. I'm using a technique very cool and that you need to, if you want to do something like that, that you need to use. So I'm going to the shared and here, and I'm going to here this website. So pretty much I'm using the ASCII table. So ASCII table is kind of cool because it gives you the possibility to do that. So let's say you know, for example, you have all the characters here in red. So 0, right? 0 to 9 is from 48 to 57. That's the number, that the code. So you have here the numbers 0 to 9 is from 48 to 57. Then
they don't care about the middle column, just the outside column, right?
Yeah, the first, the red one and the first one, the first column. Okay, those are all the things. But this is what interesting me. And then you have the small letters from 97 to 122, and then you have the uppercase letters from 65 to 90, and then you have a bunch of special characters. So you have the question mark from 33 to 47, that is special characters. Then you have some here that here 94, 95, 96, and then you have here you have 123. So how I'm doing this? So you know, so earlier 2 days ago, 3 days ago, I don't remember. We talked about my custom function we call the word code custom function. So the word code. I'm going to zoom. Don't worry. The word code, and I say, okay, let's say I'm typing here Nick Hunter, okay, and I want to start from the position 1. This is my name with codes. I'm using the character 78, 105, 99, 107, 32, 72. Let's try to check, you know. So 78 should be a capital N. So 78, it's a capital N. 78, right? So if that should be a small cap I, 105. I'm going there, 105, it's a small cap I. So now that I know that the word code returns a list of codes here based on the letter. If I change the N from capital to small, look the 78 here. So if I change this on small cap, it becomes 110, right? And so, and here, so now let's say I'm adding a special character, that's 33. And if you go to the thing here, you look 33 is exclamation point. So now that I have this, you know, it's easy for me to use another custom function. That's why I've said lean design. Lean design is pick up the right technique to catch something like using the ASCII table. Use a custom function that return me all the codes of everything I typed in the field, and then use another custom function that I called range that do this. We said that numbers is from 48 to 57. So 48 to 57, right? So now I have from 48, 49, 50, 51, from 48 to 57. And I do that for everything. I'm doing that for the letters, for the capital letters, the small cap letters, for the numbers and everything. I'm doing the same thing. So the script here is, you know, when you said you want to create a password. So I'm establishing all my list here. So the special character, this is the special character. This is a list of the special characters. So if I copy this and I go to the data viewer, I will see that this is what I have. This is my results. I have multiple ranges because you saw that on the ASCII table they are a little bit apart, right? And I'm doing the same thing for the special character here, and I do the capital character and the numbers, right? So, and then after that, it's easy for me just to check and see if I have inside, if I have it, if I have, a filter value, I'm doing the filter value and I filter the values and stuff like that. So this is something, and now you have a new feature that you can create strength. You can create a full strength password that is, that what we need today, right? So also other thing here I want to show you, of course, you have all the pieces, the search, the search speed with the pieces and the transfer of font set. You have everything. As you can see here, I'm using card style windows instead of popover, and I'll show you how to do that. And here I have something very interesting that I'm going to, that will be the last thing I will be talking today, but I want to cover it, even if it's just quick.
That's fine. Take your time.
Let's say you have, like this, in this example, you have different kind of assets, and different kind of assets, they have different kind of properties. A laptop doesn't have the same properties as a cell phone or tablet or whatever. See, here you have the cell number. When on the laptop, I don't have a cell number, right? So I have, based on the type of the assets, I have a different set of properties. But as you can see here, those properties are changing, reflowing, but as you can see, this is a portal. Okay, this is a portal. Those are records, right? As you can see, they behave like fields, because here for this type of for workstation, I have a pop-up menu here with the manufacturer, so I can change the manufacturer. Also, I have, what's the name? I have a radio button here pointing to a value list, right? And if I go to cell phone here, I have a calendar, but this one is not a calendar. And then I have another value list here with the color, and then I have a different value list here, right? So how the hell I can do that? Records that show up like a value list, and I have different kind of controls. I'm a record that can be can on the fly be a calendar or value list and pointing to a value list. So here how it works. So I'm not going to dismantle the mechanism here because we are running out of time, but I'm going to walk through, and then you can explore by yourself. Here I have what I call the asset property field management. Okay, so this is all my asset type. Let's create a new one, the RCC. Okay, RCC, I'm creating my new one. And let's say, so the first is a text field. It's a mandatory field, and it's first name. Okay. Then I have another field, it's a text field. It's also mandatory, it's a last name. Okay. Last name. But here I have another text field, and it's not mandatory, I want the account name. But I want the account name, but I want the system to be smart. I want the get account name. I want the automatic populate. I want the thing to be populated automatically. I want to get account name of the current user. And then here I want a date, like a date of birth. And then I want a separator. And I want the text here, and I want to say what's the name? Gender. And another text field, and I want to be like our cities. City. Okay, where the guy walk city. Okay. And gender and city, both of them. So this is I said a date, as I want the date to be a calendar, right? And this one here, I want to be a pop-up menu, and this one I want to be a drop-down menu. See? So this will be a pop-up. This will be a drop-down. So I have two fields here. Okay. Now I'm going to value list, right? And I'm going to add here. I will call it gender and male, female, other. And then, okay, I already have a city here. So let's say I have it. So the city. So I have gender and city, right? So I create my two value lists, right? Create two value lists. And so now I'm ready to go, right? So I'm going to my assets and I'm ready to create a new assets, which is an RCC type, and boom. First name, last name, mandatory. That's why it's red, because you need to pull something here, right? So let's say Nick, Hunter, admin, but let's say I have NHM, I have another account. Date of birth, okay, let's say we don't care. I have a separator, and then I have the gender, I'm a male, let's say other. And work city, it's a drop-down menu. Oh, work city, sorry. So I need to go to system here, and I need to value this, and I need to create a work city. Okay. Work city, and I can say Santa Clara and Fairfield, right? So, and now go back here, and I have here Fairfield or Santa Clara on the fly. So I created my set of records. I mean, my fields. So what I did here is just I use records as fields, right? So I create fields without create fields, and then you can relate the fields with a type of thing, and then they pop up on the fly. If you change this, you say, okay, this is a cell phone, and it changes everything. I think we're done.
Yeah, so a couple questions came up, and the questions were they were off kind of topic. So listen, to be honest, we couldn't do the training unless we didn't have awesome people like you. We wouldn't make the demos and make the training if there weren't people who didn't want to hear about it and learn about it. So the best thing you can do to help us, if you want to like return the favor, is tell other people about the fmtraining.tv. Tell them, right? If you want to tell them that you're brilliant and you came up with it on your own, that's fine. But if you want to actually help Nick and help us, then let them know that, right? So
I made that everything made on my free time. It's a lot of work to try to get all those complexity and to bring them in this small files, tiny file here, and make a demo that people can understand. But what I want to jump on is like, when I have a customer that calls me and say, okay, Nick, since we have the solution working, we increase our revenue by half. With 50%. So
I've never had one by half. That's
by half. That's true. That's totally true. Wow. And actually, that's why we get paid. We get paid because it's we.
But it's not specific to you. If these people, if all the good friends and learning,
it's not specific to me.
Yeah, but not like Nick goes double, but everyone else, well, you only save 10%.
Yeah.
No, it's if you learn the tricks here and apply them, the customers will benefit from your awesome. It's not about us being awesome. It's about you being awesome, pointing at you in the computer. Being awesome.
And then when you bring stuff like that, what will happen is, the customer will say, "Oh, we can do that." So that means, can we do that? Yes, why not? Oh, okay. And then you go further,
because they see the value.
Yeah, exactly. So what you need to understand is the solution you're building for people like that, for your customer or your company and stuff like that. It's a tool that will make the difference between the competitors, between your company, your customer company, and your tool will make the difference with the other companies competing with. So
consultant or developer, if you're in house, but you're basically making
work for your company.
Yeah, and you're making a competitive tool that will really help. It's like a lot of people build a tool, and FileMaker's been running around talking to people, and they're out there here. There's no way they would watch 2 hours of me. They'd want to vomit. But yeah, they ask, hey, you built this really great tool. Would you like to sell it to 20 of your competitors? And people are like, no, it's a secret weapon that we want to use to bonk over the head of everyone else so we make more money, right? So a lot of times people build these solutions like the Max Acroba and other stuff, and we're not going to get that, but we've pulled those pieces out for you, but you get the idea.
I have another, one of my biggest customer, and is the city of Montreal. So it's kind of a 6.5 million citizen city. It's not a small one.
Former customer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I built the file with the same design, and I was paying extreme attention to the design, the UI, and stuff like that, because you are dealing with people. They by definition are here to criticize and to be negative about your the computer program they have. That you have to understand that most of the people are refracting about this. They don't want to use this. They don't want new stuff. They don't want to learn new things. So you have a bias at the beginning against you because because you're going to change their comfortable or leather, like I was saying. Okay, the comfy zone, right? So I built the thing and stuff like that, and I wasn't hearing much about question about how this works, how do this, how do that. And one day I said, maybe nobody's using my stuff, So I went to the console and I said, okay, 75 people connected on the file. So they're using it. I wait 2 weeks, and after that I call and I say, okay, is that okay? Are you okay? Because I don't hear from you I hear from you about creating your thing and stuff like that, but I don't hear from you how this works, and they said, we don't need no training.
If you build a self-evident interface, this goes back to kind of the Apple thing, but
Training.
It's in ideal world, things are self-evident and you don't need a manual.
Yeah,
Right?
sometime unfortunately I cannot open it because it's too sensitive. But I take something like a day and a half to think about a mere popover with 5 buttons and stuff like that. That's it. But it takes me a day and a half in order to say, okay, hold on, this is cumbersome. When you need to click here, then click here, then no. Let's make the workflow. So I have things that appear as you click. You don't have all the thing at once. No, you click there and then choop. Now, can you please tell me this? Clack, prompt. Can you please tell me this? Tongue. And at the end, you have, is that what you asked me? Tung, 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 validate, prompt. So when you have something like that, people are comfortable because they say, okay, that's some tricks I'm giving you. People are extremely comfortable when they see a screen where you have a cancel button. When you have a cancel button, if I'm doing something wrong, cancel. Right? They can cancel. So bring that as much as possible. Carlton window helps a lot for that, because you can cancel pretty much everything you do. So cancel. And then you have to make what I call the progressive UI. When you click somewhere and then you have an empty space with kind of like for example, if you take emails and you have no email selected, you have on the email viewer you have no messages selected. You have this. So I use the same technique here. Sometimes when there's nothing selected and you need to do something, I say, okay, add or select a customer because there's nothing. But you have a list of customers on the side, but nothing is selected. So, but you have an add button too. So if they can add or create or add a customer or select one, right? So they select one and then this filigrane stuff disappear, and then you have what you want to see. So you don't expose everything. You guide people. You take by the hand. You guide them. So that's very important. The progressive UI and stuff. But that we have 100 hours of training here possible.
Yeah. Well, that's a big chunk of this is from my perspective, is Nick pioneers or sees things, and I'm not nearly as sharp in that way as Nick is, and a lot of even very senior talented people in the world. They're seniors in terms of coding and making it work, but in terms of presentation, the user interface, I am not that person, right? But what I do like to do is I see where Nick builds a file, he builds a certain process, it makes sense. Then I see parallels in the work that I'm doing, and I go, oh, I can recycle that. So that's why you get the sample file from Nick, and you recycle that design. You know, that goes back to the red downtown, this launch file, starting point. Hell, a lot of people recycle a lot about starting point.
What happened to me, that's why I'm in this position today, is because when I was a FileMaker, I started working with the design team, right? You remember? And the design team over there, they said, Nick, we're not going to become FileMaker developer. That's what you are. But they said, you are going to become a designer. So they send me to the university. So, you know, I learn UI UX like I'm coding Xcode, iPhone app, right? So, and since I got addicted to this, I love the design, and I'm reading articles, I have magazines and stuff like that about design and so evolution, UI evolution and stuff like that. And I keep looking what happens in the iPad, field, and the tablet and the phone and the computer, and sometimes I get inspired by what happened there, because what you need to understand about the design, in the 80s and the 90s. Computers, software, and solution were coming with a manual of. They came with a book. It was big like that, right? Double click, the thing. Okay. Do we have a manual of instruction coming with iPad and iPhone and stuff like that? No, because we in that case the manual of instruction would be something like that, right? So, but we don't need. There's two reasons for that. First reason is the UI became more and more and more optimized and intuitive. Okay, because on our side of a UI UX designer, we learn and we improved and we optimize our concepts. And on the other side of the fence, users are educated. In the 80s, who knows what is a window and a click? You know, what a click? What this? In the 80s, people say, "What this for? What this for?"
I was wondering if you were going to mention the fact that people have grown, they understand it, and just to confirm this, I pulled we were looking at when we were writing our book, and we update our book, and we were looking at some of the other curriculum books from 20 years ago for FileMaker, because some of the things you do in FileMaker in terms of putting things on a very basic training hasn't changed. The product really hasn't changed that much. Of course, lean design takes it a step beyond that. But what they considered an intermediate course 20 years ago in FileMaker would today be considered the stuff we cover on day 2. I mean, it's like super junior basic. So I had an intermediate book. I go, oh, I found this on eBay and I paid. It was on someone's library, and it was almost worthless because it was the people have learned so much. They understand basics of click, although there is, once again, age issues, once again, in the world, because we have 70-year-olds using iPads and we have 8-year-olds using iPads, and their intuitive understanding is different.
Yeah. And the education of users, you have educated users from McDonald's to the bank to the ATM, iPhone, TV. They all have interface. They all have UI UX everywhere. You know, now you go to the restaurant. We went to the restaurant yesterday, and we had a tablet on the table to pay or order or whatever. You know, you can have the menu and stuff like that. So you have interface everywhere. You have UI UX everywhere. So now, okay. So let's say you have a plus button. You know what a plus button do? You know, add a sandwich, add a topping on the pizza delivery. The plus is add topping, right? Add. If you use the plus for something else in your solution, you confuse people, because everywhere plus means add, and for you plus mean move, for example. So you need to be careful. So what you need to do, you need to make sure you use all the pictograms from the common world, from the pop culture, you know, from the common people. So don't start to create your own stuff, right? Gears like that together, that system, that, you know, like I have this, you know, a silhouette, you know, guy like that user. We don't need a box like that with a pad and some that assets. You know,
And as much as some people hate the 3 or 4 little lines together, that's a hamburger menu, right? And everyone knows that. And there have been huge fights about that, right? But even Apple uses hamburger menus now.
And after that, you need to make sure that what you use. I don't know if you notice here, but everywhere I'm using, all my words are extremely simple. Picture, property, history, quick find. It's not like blah 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 blah. Don't put names like 5 or 6 words and stuff like that. Don't put. Keep very simple. Like here, I have a plus button here. I don't need to have the add a new asset text next of it. You know, it's okay. You see a plus button is there. You don't need. Like for another thing, for example, I don't know if you noticed, but I don't have a delete button. There's no delete button. How you delete?
Delete key.
You know, Alt delete. That deletes. That's it. You don't need a button for delete. You don't need a, you know what I mean? It's you need to when you can remove that is the rules number 1 on design. When you can remove something, do.
Yeah. All right. So I want to thank everyone. I want to thank all of you. I'm just, you're awesome. We appreciate it. It's a lot of hard work. You have no idea. It's a ton of work. I want to thank Charles Massey, who you'll see at the beginning of the closeout section here. We've updated it. For those of you who missed our closing video, it gets better and better. You might want to hang out for 2 minutes and just watch it. It's kind of funny. Come to DEF CON. We'll be there. I'll buy you a drink. Charles Massey will be there. Nick Hunter, this actually production team will be there. We're actually taking our mobile broadcast studio with us, although I don't know how much broadcasting we really want to do, right? But I mean, we'll be there with it. We can always go live if we need to. So we'll catch everyone next time. Charles done a great job. And so that's it. We'll catch you next time. Check out fmtraining.tv, please. FM Training TV. So that's it. Roll credits.
Just stepped up the whole way. Calm, cool, collected the quarterback. Great read, good patience. More importantly, great job up front protecting this quarterback to give you a chance. And that's all you can ask for.
Trying to rally down 10. 9:25 to go here in the 4th. Short motion by Amendola from the left. Brady takes the shotgun snap. Stands in, throws it left for Amendola. Reaches up and snacks a high throw and lands inside the 10. Rolling to the 9. Ball slightly behind him, but Danny makes the grab.